We're going to start off this meeting the same way we start every single meeting, and that is going to be with wins. Travis, I'll go ahead and let you share your screen since you're going to be taking over here in a minute, but I would love to know what wins we are having. We celebrate wins, whether they are large or small. And so if anybody's got a win they would like to share, I'd love for you to unmute and tell us what's going on.
Oh, I guess we just got a lead in on our website for a big HOA. It's like 184 units.
Whoa.
It's going to be like a 750K job, but we're going to kind of go out. They're all like, we're going to do it unit by unit, but it could be like half a year's worth of work.
Holy smokes.
All right.
So,
That's a good lead. We love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they just filled out something on our website just because we're the closest insulation contractor to them. So didn't require too much work either.
Hey, we'll take it. A win's a win. We love it. Anybody else have a win that they want to share?
Well, I finally got out of my way and got my office manager to start using the script for the calls and leads. And it's been tough setting it, nothing below $20,000, but we're seeing for the next 2 weeks how that pans out, if we're even booking anything on the calendar. So right now we got enough work that I've got about 2 weeks where we can play with it and see what happens.
Nice. Yes. Everybody is always reluctant to use scripts. It's never something that somebody is excited about, but it is so powerful when you actually implement it and you're able to really study the results and make improvements. So You're taking a step in the right direction. Anybody else got a win that they want to share here today? I saw Ray with Prestige Printing popped on. I don't know if he's still on here, but if he is, I would love for him to share the win that he shared with me about the difference in his revenue this May compared to last May. Ray, are you able to unmute for me? He's all the way in Canada, so I'm not. Oh,
they have internet up there? Weird.
No, they live in igloos. It's all snow all the time, Ray, can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry, having some technical difficulties.
Oh, there you are. You're okay. Well, I'd love if you're willing to share the growth that you've experienced this May compared to last May.
Yeah. So I don't know if I have my numbers in front of me, but we're 2 months out from our end of year, fiscal end of year, I guess, and we've already hit our goals for the year. So we've got a month.
Yes, that's huge. 2 months to go, and already hit the goal. I think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, but what I have recorded was May last year was around 55,000, and May this year was around 88,000. So that's incredible growth. We're so excited for you. You've been working damn hard to get there, and so just love to celebrate it. Okay, any other quick wins here before we get this show on the road? I see a few of you are on the road, making it happen already.
Yeah, we got a win.
Yes, tell us.
Yeah, so just a couple of weeks ago, we scored our first franchise account. That's been really fun. We're doing 9 of their stores in the Missouri and kind of Kansas areas.
Hey,
all right. That is a key connection.
Yes.
Yeah, really
so
cool
much.
people. And gosh, I do feel a little guilty. I know the crew doesn't, but I sure do. They offer us just a lunch like every single day that we're there. I'm like, this feels weird. I don't know about that, but it's a good time.
Yes, love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We love hearing the wins. And so I saw Kevin Brown put that it's his son's first day of school. It's the middle of June. I'm confused. I'm confused here. But congratulations. I'm sure that's a relief to your wife to have, only one kid in the house and she's working. So we're happy for you, Kevin. Okay, well, Travis, I'm going to let you take it away here. I know what we're talking about today is merit-based pay. I know I see a few clients of mine on this call that they implement merit-based pay. I see Jason with Alley Core Plumbing. He does the merit-based pay system beautifully. I know Phil with Minnesota Gutter. And so I'm very excited for those of you who are implementing to maybe get re-inspired of how you can maybe incentivize more, and those who haven't done merit-based pay to really be able to hear about the benefits and get some really good instruction on how to get it started. So Travis, without further ado, I'll let you get this show on the road.
All right. Well, let me see here if I can get the screen to share. Okay. Well, to start off with, really before we even dive into it, are you guys able to hear me here? Is the audio coming through?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we dive into it, I just kind of want to start off with a question and really just in your previous life, before you were a business owner, back when you were working for somebody else, probably as a top performer, I'm sure, if you were compensated as such, that have made a difference? Would you have possibly stayed there? Okay. If your answer to that question is yes, then maybe merit-based pay would have been the solution that company needed to retain a really great employee. So today, that's the topic that we're going to be discussing is merit-based pay. And implementing this into your business can really be a win-win for you and your employees. Okay. So when we're looking back over the history of your business, I'm sure with a lot of you guys, there's times and instances that you can think of that employees asking for raises or requesting a higher salary. And I'm sure a lot of those requests can cause a lot of stress and maybe even panic sometimes for the business owner. And so this is where the merit-based pay can really come in and save the day. And so one question you might have is, why should I do merit-based pay? Well, we have here a quote from Charlie Munger that says, "Show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome." Now, for those of you who don't know who Charlie Munger is, he's probably best known as the longtime business partner and the right-hand man of Warren Buffett, and kind of playing a key role in Berkshire Hathaway's success over the years. But AKA just a very rich man with a cool net worth of about $2.5 billion. So I'm going to go ahead and say that this is somebody that we can really listen to and trust in regards to getting results. Okay. But merit-based pay is honestly one of the greatest ways for you to increase productivity in your business and increase employee retention by offering a really clear incentive for your employees that really strive to go above and beyond. And so this is actually something that we've even experienced here at Redmond Growth recently. After we actually restructured a part of our merit-based pay system, we've overall had an improved performance in that department and even had a team member set company records for production. So even a company that's had merit-based pay is a foundational piece of it, for a long time, revisiting the structure of that has really led to kind of record-breaking results in a short amount of time.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, Travis or Kaden, but I think that she's closed 14 new clients this month. Is that correct? 14. Yeah. That's not our entire sales team. That is one individual has closed 14 new clients. And I think our typical goal is to close around 20 to 25 a month. And she's closed 14 after we implemented this new bonus structure.
Yeah, and to be clear, 25 a month as a company overall. And so she's just one man wrecking crew right now. And so I say that to say, you know, the merit-based pay, it's something that really works, and it's stuff that we really practice what we preach here. You know, we're not just telling you to implement it into your business. So now I've got 5 main points here as we look at just some of the ways that merit-based pay can look like in your business. And honestly, every business can implement merit-based pay in different ways, and merit-based pay can even look different for different positions in the business. One of the most important things for you to determine what your merit-based pay should, you know, be based off of is really incentivizing the tasks that are most closely tied to revenue. Tasks that directly make the company more money. And you know, the other way that you can do it is, you know, tying it to, you know, important behaviors that you want more of in your business. Okay. So for some businesses, key performance indicators may look like outbound call numbers, or it may look like revenue from jobs that have been completed. And one of the best parts of merit-based pay is that it can truly be implemented for any role in your business. And so this is something that your coach can help you determine if you're having a hard time, maybe figuring out what ways can we measure to the success of a role. How can we implement merit-based pay in our business? But the first one that I have here is probably the simplest way, or at least the most common way to do it. But that is to raises or bonuses just based on goals that you've set or KPIs to be hit. And so this can look like, hey, if you want to raise, these are the numbers that I need you to produce. And if you're able to do that for X period of time, we can give you that raise. Okay, so that was pretty simple. Another way of doing this is actually incentivizing behaviors that you want to see more of in your team. So you could even do, you know, a simple scorecard for the week, tracking things like, are we on time every day? Did you show up with a tidy appearance? Do you have a good attitude when you get to work every day? Does that help, you know, creating that good positive work environment? And let that influence what your employees are able to earn. Another one, another great one that we have here is, you know, hey, for every whatever it is, whatever makes sense for your business, whatever hot water heater install that you sell, you get an extra $50, an extra $100. Incentivize the things that you're wanting more of, whatever that may be. Okay. Now the second one that I have here is Google review bonuses. Many of our clients use Google review bonuses to really help drive their employees to really want to go out of their way to ask clients for reviews. You know, make that go from something that's a burden on them, you know, they feel like they don't really want to do it, to really making it something that is worth their while. They want a chance to ask for a Google review. And anybody that's been a part of even just one coaching meeting with this already knows just how important those reviews are. And I honestly would almost say that even if you're not doing merit-based pay in your business yet, this is one that is really simple and it's really easy to track, but it will have a major impact in your business.
And that's a great point, Travis, with simplicity. Sometimes I have clients ask me questions about like percentages and commissions. And well, this guy came to me from this previous company and this is the way that they were doing it and it worked really well. Okay, I'm sorry. Owning a business, it's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. You get to have the parameters. And obviously you want it to be incentivizing, but don't make this overcomplicated, overcomplex. Don't make this big monster to have to track. And who the heck cares what the other company was doing? That's why you started your own company. So you got to set the rules. And yes, we want to have something incentivizing, but don't overcomplicate it. Don't feel pressured by an employee or what a different company is doing. Simplicity. Make it easy for them to know what goals and that they need to hit. Make it easy for you to be able to track. Simplicity is always going to be the best rule of thumb here.
Yeah, and something I would add too is when we talk about merit-based pay, it doesn't mean you have to restructure your entire pay system, right? The stuff that Travis is talking about so far is just implementation of bonuses or incentives and making more revenue driving activities a win-win situation, so that as the company makes more, that individual makes more. They're incentivized just like you are as the business owner. That's why you have the drive that you do, because you make more money when you work harder. So they have an opportunity to make more money when they work harder in these specific areas that you say drive revenue. I think with Google review bonuses, it seems like something you don't want to put money behind, but it absolutely is. We've heard on pretty much every group call, when we talk about wins, somebody will share a win about their reviews and somebody calling them on Google because of the reviews. That's literally a revenue driver. So it's worth putting money behind.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for throwing that in there. But yeah, so the Google reviews, that's a great way to incentivize your team, and it's gonna have a huge impact on your business. Okay. Now the third thing that I have here is just, another thing to consider with merit-based pay is creating a bonus scale based on just revenue being brought in. This is really one of my personal favorites. It really directly tying that bonus scale based on revenue brought in. And so this can really simply look like, hey, we expect every truck to produce $5,000 per week. Every $500 over that 5,000, you get an extra 50, 100, 150, whatever makes sense for you and your business, but really motivates your guys to earn additional dollars in a week, right? And so this very directly ties your employees' compensation to bringing in more revenue for the business, okay? Now, another way that merit-based pay can be done is something a little bit more competitive, maybe a little bit more fun, like a company competition. And so that's where you would have them compete to see who can get the most reviews, what crew produced the most revenue, what crew had the best attendance that week. Again, you're really just wanting to encourage more of the behavior that you're wanting to see more of. And so the other great thing about company competition are that they're a great way to sometimes really bring out that competitiveness in your team, which typically really does a great job at motivating your employees and overall boosting morale and creating a great culture for your team. Now, fifth and final one, the last one I have here is a percentage of money saved. And there are a few different ways that this could be accomplished for you in implementing it in your business. One of those being that if a job comes in under budget or finishes up early, your project manager, maybe they can get a percentage of money that was saved. Now, obviously, that has to be done without sacrificing on quality. We're not willing to sacrifice there, but creating an incentive for your project manager to run ahead of schedule and under budget is really only going to benefit your business. But another great way to incentivize money being saved is if your project manager, or maybe even if your office person or whoever orders your materials, helps you find an alternative material or an alternative supplier that's less expensive. Again, letting them get a percentage of that money that they saved the business. And so something that I've got here is merit-based pay really it's going to help motivate your star employees, and it's going to be another way to see who maybe isn't taking their job as seriously. Because this is really, it'll really truly hold the employees accountable to either increase or decrease their own pay. They kind of have that ability. And so I've got a quote here that I love. It's an incentive is a bullet, a key, an often tiny object with astonishing power to change a situation. And I know you guys probably think that I came up with that myself, but I'll give my man Stephen D. Levitt some credit here for that one. But really, the reason I like this quote for our topic today is because you can really view merit-based pay as that incentive or as that key that's maybe been missing that allows you to unlock the ability to encourage the behavior that you've been trying to get out of your team. So maybe you've told your guys 1.5 million times to ask for Google reviews, and they just won't do it. Maybe you're having trouble with getting your team to perform the home safety inspection checklist on every job, so they aren't, hitting the sales goals that you have as a company. And so, really, before moving on here, I want to take a quick time out and just kind of see if anybody would like to share an example of maybe how merit-based pay has worked for them. I know, Nicole, you said you have a lot of clients on here that have implemented merit-based pay, or if somebody would like to give an example of a time that they've used it and it's worked, or maybe how you chose to incentivize your employees. Or even if there's any coaches, if you have any clients that come to mind.
So basically for we used to do the reviews, I give $10 per review, and so my guy just like drives him crazy. He just totally aggressive everywhere he goes. He's getting reviews. So he's getting like $140, 14 reviews. He's tracking the other guy's reviews. He's all into it, so it helps. Definitely makes a big difference. So just for $10, I mean, like something small, like you're saying, something small gets astonishing results.
Yes, and that's coming from a guy who has almost 200 reviews. So clearly it's working. Bobby Blue Plumbing over there. Jason with Alicorp Plumbing, I don't know if you are in a position to unmute or talk at all. A lot of times when I talk to Jason on the phone, he's like the king of always wanting to be busy. So if he's not working in the business, he's like digging a trench behind his house, or like redoing their pergola, or like redoing their game room. I have a feeling that most business owners tend to be that way. You guys like can't sit still. But Jason, I don't know if you can unmute, if you can, but Jason has a beautiful merit-based pay system that you use to just incentivize your guys' weekly revenue, right?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so we basically use the merit-based system on a weekly type basis. If we hit the revenue goals, I give my guys $200 for that week extra, and if they every $1,000 over that they do, they get $50. And then if they work a Saturday and they meet just that 1 day goal, I give them another $200, and that kind of incentivizes them to work on Saturday. We're a company that we're basically 8 to 5 o'clock, and weekends off. We don't really do emergency calls. Every now and then we have a normal customer, a regular customer that needs some service after hours or something like that, and sometimes I can get someone to respond to that, or if I'm not working my second job, I can respond to that as well. But I also incentivize them for going out and doing that as well. We've been trying to do the Google review thing, but that kind of fell off. They stopped doing that. So after hearing this, I'm gonna try to get some more incentives going to see if we can get the revenue up and the Google reviews up.
Yes. And that's coming from a guy who has 459 reviews and he's still wanting to get more.
Yeah.
I love hearing that, Jason. Thank you so much for sharing. And one key thing that Jason said is he does not cap that bonus. He wants to incentivize his team. There's not a cap, there's not a limit. You know, if you're going to go out and sell, we are going to reward you for it. And Jason's been working with us for, I think, over 3 years now, and their revenue has consistently, like their month-to-month revenue year over year has grown every single year with the same team. We're just now getting ready to add on a third man.
And I also do the profit sharing every quarter. I give the guys a percentage of that. So, and that is also a good incentive for them.
Yes. And not to mention that not only has he had 2 vans the entire time we're working together, but the same 2 guys in it. And so that would tell you that they like working there. They're happy with the incentives that they are getting. So it works. Jason, I really appreciate you popping on here and sharing that with us.
Yeah, I'm in and out where I'm running around testing backflows for the school system. So
nice.
Sometimes you're in my pocket, but we're just heading to another school at the moment.
Well, we appreciate you participating as best you can. Thanks, Jason. Yep. But it works, and there's so many different ways. Like Jason said, he's got several different ways that he incentivizes his team to get the results that he's looking for. And so you don't feel like you have to be cornholed into a certain box here. Don't look at merit-based pay just one way, because it's not. It's completely customizable. You can incentivize anything. You can incentivize your office manager. It's not just for techs. You can incentivize your project managers. It's completely customizable, and we can work with you to find the best system for you.
Yeah. If you have a problem with accounts receivable, one time I did a merit-based pay system with a client where we did 1% of what was collected that was past 30 days due was directly given to the person making the calls to get that back. And that made a huge difference on reducing their past due. Now, it's not a good ongoing one because then they're going to wait for it to go 30 days so they get that 1%. But for that, you know, hey, we got to get past and reduce what's owed to us. So you'll get a 1% on that. It works.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for sharing some of your experiences with the merit-based pay and kind of the impact that it has and everything. But all these great things that we've said about merit-based pay, we still run into some objections, you know, as coaches when we present merit-based pay to clients. We've got a few common ones that we run into in those situations. And the number one being, I can't afford this. It can be scary when you're talking about increasing your employees' pay, you know, especially at different seasons of the business. The good thing about merit-based pay is it's a great opportunity to make sure that the objectives that you're setting for your employees will directly increase the revenue in your business. And so essentially, merit-based really should be something that pays for itself. Okay. And another one that we hear a lot is, Nicole kind of spoke to it earlier, just that other companies don't do this, right? And again, that's a good thing. You know, the main thing, the focus here is that we want to be different than the other guys. We don't want to be the exact same. You're looking at ways to set yourself apart from other businesses and how they treat their employees compared to how you treat yours. Because your employees feel like when you truly value them and respect them, that's where you're going to get that long-term success. And you're going to get those long-term employees who will stick by your side. Okay, kind of like Jason's experiencing, you know, Nicole, you said that he has the same crew, has, you know, 2 trucks there, and he's really, you know, reaped the benefit of having those long-term employees there with this system. Another really common one, and I think we could all understand this one for sure, is I don't want greedy sales guys. Nobody likes the slimy used car salesman that you run into, you know. But the main thing to focus on is that you set the standard for the culture in your business. This is also why tracking and monitoring what's going on in the business and how the merit-based pay is going to be implemented is so important. So you're going to set the standards and you're going to be in charge of this and how it affects your team. So in a lot of ways, the fact that you even have that concern in your mind already really shows that that's probably not something that you're going to allow in your business. Okay. You're not going to put up with it for very long if it does happen. So simply by that being something that you're already mindful of, you're probably going to detect it pretty quickly if it does start to happen. And the last one that we have here is, hey, you know, I've tried this. I just can't get my guys to care. Tried this, it didn't work. It's a very valid point. But this is why we really stress and focus on how to present this and actually implement it to your team. It's why it's so important to actually lay out a plan before you present this to your team to make sure that they actually have the tools and have the knowledge, the skills and the time that they need to get this done. And if you feel like you have those things, then it's time to actually present it to them. But it's definitely important to make sure that you have some of that pre-planning done before you actually roll this out. So now that being said, how do I present this to my team? Okay. Again, this is probably the most crucial step. It's very easy to overlook, but it's the most crucial step in the whole process, because this is where you're going to get, you know, your employees to buy into new changes. It's going to be a chance to really set a positive and really clearly communicate reasons behind what you're doing and why. How you don't want to approach this is, hey guys, we're really doing bad in this area, and I just need you to fix it starting now. That's a lot harder to hear from most people. And so this is when we pull out the good old hug, kick, hug method. And what we're going to do with the hug, kick, hug is highlight some positives that the team has been doing or working on, and then tell them about the area that we really need to focus on improving. You just follow that up with reinforcing again what the team is doing well and how improving in this other area is really important going forward. And so that can kind of sound like, hey guys, we're doing a great job of showing up on time. You guys look neat when you show up and you're knocking out your work. I'm really happy with where we're at there. What we can focus on is making sure that we're really trying to get Google reviews on every job, because right now we're only getting about 5 reviews each week as a company. And really we need to be at about 15. And so if we can start doing that, it's going to put you guys at your 5 apiece, and you'll get your, 75 a week worth of bonuses. And again, I really appreciate you guys showing up on time. We're getting really great feedback from our customers. They really love you guys. We just need to translate that into more online reviews so that we can create more opportunities so I can pay you guys more. So kind of sandwiching that negative feedback with positive feedback is just typically a much more productive conversation. And then your team doesn't just feel like they're getting beat up from you, and it's just a lot more positive note thinking about the praise that you gave, if that makes sense. And so the next principle that you need to keep in mind whenever you're rolling this out to the team is selling the vision. Now when you let them know what changes are going to be in terms of a merit-based pay system, it's really important to really sell them on how this is going to make a positive change for them, and to let them know, hey, this is what meeting and exceeding these key performance indicators and what hitting these goals is actually going to do for the company, and in turn, what it will do for you. And so this is something you really want to break it down to the actual tangible monetary benefit that they will receive from it. And personally, I really like to even break it down as far as, hey, this is what your paycheck could look like if you hit this many reviews, if you sell this many hot water heaters, and you sell this much revenue each week. That's something I think you're definitely capable of hitting. and this is what your check will look like. So really getting specific and painting the picture for them, what it can look like. And then just the last point is really, really super important. Again, this is an area that's very easy to overlook, but it's just clearly and effectively communicating the process. Again, this is something new. It's going to be kind of scary to some of your guys. And so without, doing this, you're going to have a lot of confusion amongst the team. Okay. It's going to create them not buying in. And it'll be hard to get your employees to buy in. And so what I mean by, clearly and effectively communicating the process is reiterate how you're going to track it and when you're going to sit down and review the results. So this is going to be a time that you'll either be congratulating a team member on going above and beyond and really excelling, or it will be an opportunity for you to coach and encourage employees who are maybe struggling to meet those goals. And so another thing it'll do for you is it'll also help you identify what areas your team's really needing help with the most so that you can give them the support that they need. So just to wrap things up a little bit, this is really just a great way to help strengthen and grow your revenue in your business simply by incentivizing and rewarding hard work in your employees. So it's also a really big part in building that winning culture of go-getters that everybody's always looking for. And so now, I know we've covered a lot today, so we're gonna go into our breakout rooms where you'll be with the coach and be able to ask some more questions in a little bit smaller group setting. So Bryce will get us set up for that.
It's true. It's true. I actually have two quick announcements too, just so that we're on the same page. So one is, if you haven't already, talk to your coach about the ERC stuff, the employee retention credit. We've already had some clients start to receive some of that free money, or not receive, but start to know that they're eligible and go through the process to receive that free money. So talk to your coach. It is a legitimate thing and a great way for you to increase some cash flow for yourself. And then also next week, there's no group call happening on Thursday because it's the 5th week. That's just the normal flow, but wanted to get those two reminders out there to you. So that said, we'll jump into the breakout rooms, talk about merit-based pay. But for the ERC stuff, just email your coach and we'll talk you through